When we sit here, just relax the body. Relax this body. Let go of all the tightness, the tension. Keep it relaxed, keep it peaceful. And keep the mind open, calm. Don't let the mind run here and there. Just bring the mind back to the body, the center. May I be free. May I be free from all kinds of harm and danger. Free from all mental suffering. Free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be peaceful. May I be well. And may I truly be happy. May I be free from all kinds of harm and danger. Free from all mental suffering. Free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be well. And may I truly be happy. Now let us expand this metta. Expand this metta, reaching out to all the people, humans or non-humans around us. The monks here, fellow yogis, helpers, volunteers, devotees, supporters, to around your house, your apartment, your condo, to your loved ones around, neighbors, and also to all the guardian devas of this center, of your place, and all other devas residing nearby, to all the petas, the unfortunate beings, and to all the animals, big or small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all of us here be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all of us be peaceful, be well, and truly be happy. May all of us be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering, all of us be peaceful, be well, and truly be happy. Now let us spread the metta, spreading out further to all beings, to all the beings, to all the beings in this world, whether they are our loved ones near or far away, our friends, family, relatives, to all the people whom we do not know wherever they are, and even to those whom we dislike or those who dislike us, without exception, spread the metta to all of them, to all the guardian devas of the sasana, to all other devas in this world, to all the petas, the unfortunate beings, and to all the animals, big or small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all beings in this world be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering, may all beings in this world be able to live in peace and not in war, live with kindness and compassion and not in cruelty or violence. May all beings in this world be peaceful. May they all truly be happy. May all beings in this world be free from all kinds of harm and danger. Free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all beings in this world be peaceful, be well, and truly be happy. Let us spread the metta, reaching out to all beings, wherever they are, whatever they are. All the beings from the highest planes of existence down to the lowest planes of existence. May all beings, without exception, be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be well. May all beings without exception, may they all truly be happy. May all beings without exception, may they all be peaceful, be well, and truly be happy. Okay, now slowly we let go of the metta. We bring the mind back to the center again, to the body. Feel the sensation, feel the rise and fall of the abdomen, feel the breath, feel the touch. And then we can slowly open our eyes. All right. Today, um, today this talk, I've been thinking about it for a while, but it's not as obvious as the what the title says. So here, the topic here is whether the new normal. I said no. Physically, yes. What is deeper than that is no. Because whether it is built the same way, currents of our mind. Through this time, hold on, everybody. The internet sometimes over here is a little bit unstable. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's a bit more. I can see that the speed is not very fast right now. So the quality of the video, it could be a little bit not that good. It wouldn't be that good because over here, our signal sometimes is a bit erratic over here. I'm using just a 4G. Our Wi-Fi is even more slower than my 4G. So anyway, so here we are going through all these lockdowns or MCO or CMCO, whichever name you call it. Then we are adopting to a new ways of behavior, that you all have to like line up 1 meter or 2 meters apart. You got to wear, you got to do this, do that, cannot do this, cannot do that. Where there's so many things we have to adopt. Uh, Usually all these things we call it the new normal. Yes, physically, I do not deny that. No, our lives change in one way or another at this time. I'm not going to talk about that. Those things are, for me, even I have not been to the town for the past 3 months. For the past 3 months, but the town is just about 5 kilometers away. I've not been there. I've not been to the town. So I do not know what is really going on outside there, except reading from the news. But what I've seen is only from the internet or Facebook or some news. I don't know, in the sense of I do not know when feel it because I don't have to go out. I don't have to go out. I got nothing for me to go out. So, but the thing is that now, whether we are in this stage of time, wherever you are in the world, and then we are going through some difficulty, um, some kind of anxiety also for some people, and for some people, they lost their jobs too. And many going to be or lost their jobs. But on the other hand, on this time of time, there'll be some people who are going to earn a lot. Like what we are using over here, their Zoom, you see. They smile all the way to the bank. We use the Facebook. They smile all the way to the bank because more and more people is going to use those things at this moment of time. So during this time, during this time, a lot of people suffer, and yet there are some people who benefit from it, whether it's financially and so on. So this is not the area I would like to talk about because this is too many things for me to talk. I would like to talk about something more normal, is behind it, at the undercurrent of it, and how we're going to look at those things, that how it pulls us, whether we are in a lockdown quarantine or whether we are free from it later on or before that. We're going to see what are they and see how we can identify them and we can able to reduce them and finally cut them off. So tonight here, this morning here, I'm going to talk about something what we call, the Buddhists call asawa, A-S-A-V-A. I'm going to talk about asawa. Now, this word asawa here is not easy for us to translate. Now let me see whether I can share some screen with you or not. What is important here that the word asawa here is something is sometimes is not normally we talk about, but they run deep in our lives. Or not only deep in our life, they run and they'll follow you from life after life. And they'll follow you before all the lives before you come and right now, and you're going to follow you into the future. If you don't see it, then we're not able for us to understand it. What is important here is that the word asawa, when it's translated into English, it kind of lost its meaning. It lost its meaning. The word asawa, when it translated into English, sometimes they translate as taints. Taints, T-A-I-N-T-S, taints, tainted, something like that. Or sometimes it's translated as cankers. Sometimes it's translated as influxes. Some they translate as affluence. Some translator translate it as fermentations. Some just translate it as defilement. Yeah. Which I find that fermentation and defilements they are not so easily for us to understand. The defilements usually we look for kilesa, and it's a much more wider scope. Whereas asawa, it's difficult to translate, just like the word dukkha. The word dukkha also is not easy to translate. If you translate it as just suffering, it just only capture part of the meaning only. There are another deeper part of the meaning of dukkha, you cannot capture it. So if you use the word suffering for it, so sometimes you just leave the word dukkha as untranslated. Now, so this word also, asawa also, something like that, it hard to translate into English. So even sometimes there are translators also leave the word as just asawa. Leave the word as asawas. Now, what are these asawas? Now, these asawas, they are in a way tainted or slight corruption of our minds, and they can follow us whatever that we do if we are not able to see them clearly. Of course, on the unwholesome side, if on the unwholesome side, they are like defilements. But this asawa, it can be connected with the wholesome side. I repeat again, this asawa can be connected with the wholesome side also. That means the things that you are doing wholesome, your dana, when you are taking your precepts, or even at your meditation, this asawa can follow you along too, without you able to see it, unless your mind is sharp enough. So it can follow us from unwholesome deeds and wholesome deeds. It can follow us. And make it a bit more scarier a little bit. Even in the Noble Eightfold Path that you are practicing, there's also, if you're practicing it without able to see it more deeper, then there are also asawas follow along with this Noble Eightfold Path, which is actually is not the words that I've said. This is the words of what the Buddha said. Now, if you are middle length discourses, number 40, I think, or maybe I forgot about which number, but it's talking about 40 things. Something to do with 40. The title something to do with 40. May not be Majjhima number 40, I forgot. But it's something to do with 40 things. Within that 40 things, the Buddha mentioned it. Buddha divided the Noble Eightfold Path into two parts. One part of the Noble Eightfold Path that connected with asawas, connected with these taints, and Noble Eightfold Path is supramundane. That means it's free from these taints, these asawas. And this may be interesting for us to look into it. But if you just read like that, you could have a lot of problem what the Buddha is talking about. But here for today's talk, I'm going to show to you how we can able to recognize them. How we can recognize them, and the moment you can recognize them, how we can able to abandon them, at least as much as you can. So it's good that we pay attention to see it a bit more deeper, especially all these asawas. So as I said, this Noble Eightfold Path, it can be corrupted, tainted by these asawas also. And Noble Eightfold Path without all this tainted is supramundane. These two things. Not only that, these asawas and these taints, these mental taints, they can go all the way up. All the way up, just it is mentioned in the Abhidhamma that these asawas can go all the way up one consciousness before you attain enlightenment. That means the next consciousness is the path consciousness. or whichever level of enlightenment that you're going to go, then this asawa will follow you right just before that consciousness. Yeah. So, so, uh, so all the way, yeah, all the way, one consciousness before that. So the higher that you go, the higher of enlightenment that you go, the less asavas is going to hold on to you. Yeah. So this is the meaning that it is going to connect to us even with the wholesome deeds in our meditation is even right next to right next to enlightenment. This is how deep it can go. Uh, what what more than we are talking about just MCO or lockdown and so on, So this thing is something that for us to look into it a little bit more. Huh? Yeah. So what are the asavas? What are the types of asavas that we can look into it? Now, what are the types of asavas? There are there are four types of asavas. There are four types of asavas. There are four types of these mental taints. Now, the first mental taint is called the taints of sensual desire. The taints of sensual desire. Number two, is desire for existence. The Pali word is bhava, B-H-A-V-A. Sensual desires, the first one. The second one is desire for existence. Now the third one, is ignorance. Ignorance, avidya, ignorance. And the fourth one, is mentioned in the Abhidhamma, but not in the sutta. The sutta is mentioned only these three, the first three. The fourth one is wrong views. The fourth one is wrong views. In a way, so in the Abhidhamma, there are four categories. In the suttas, you got three. But anyway, wrong views and this avidya, they are in a way connected. In a way connected. So anyway, so what does it mean here? So now you know that it's four. Then how does it relate to our life? How does it go undercurrent? How does it go deep? How does it go very deep into our life? And how does it react? Um, Everybody, my streaming right now is quite slow right now. I can notice it. Just give me a few minutes while I reset my phone for a while. I off and on the phone for a while. Then sometimes the speed gets better. Okay. Are we on again? Everybody can hear me? All right, good. Okay. Well, I can't do anything about the internet now. If it's going to slow, it's going to be slow. It's going to be fast, it will be fast. You just have to endure it now. Anyway, I was saying that, well, we have these four types of asavas, and how these four asavas, whether you are in MCO or whether you are not in MCO, whether you are locked down or not, whether you are this life or next life, whether you whichever race, these are your normal. These are your norms. That is so difficult for us to see that it goes as I use the word, they are the undercurrents. They are like the things that you cannot see, like the sewage, underneath where when you walk, it flows underneath your legs. So you don't see it, all of them. So this is actually what is happening in our lives. These are what we call the norms. So the new normal here, the external physical normal, they will change. They will change, but no matter how you change, this asava will pull you. It's just like they are the puppet master. They are the puppet master, and every string they're going to pull you in however that you're going to be, whichever situation that you're going to be, or whichever lives that you're going to be, they're going to hold you without you even realizing it. Uh, let us see how does this asavas that is connected in our life. Let us give you a few examples here. Now, even like, for example, to say you are in the lockdown right now. You are in the MCO right now. You are the CMCO right now. Then you go out, let's say, to a restaurant and you sit there alone, let's say, and you are separated from people. You follow the SOP. Well and good, no problem. Good. But once the food come in, you look at the food, wow, good. You still eat. Although externally, you are away from people, but the central desire just follow you while you are eating because you still enjoy that particular food. That is what I mean here. The central desire, it follows us when we are even we are externally new normal, but internally, we are still do the same thing, the same habit, the same desire, the same central desire that arises. So that one is easy for us to know because that one is being mentioned again and again. But what is more difficult for us to know is that um, take a bit more difficult ones like when you're doing dana, when you're doing offering dana, you are doing giving, you are doing service, you're offering your you're offering your what do you call that? You're offering your service, you're giving your energy, you're giving your time to certain charity or certain society or certain this one, whichever it is. As I said, even that wholesomeness that you are doing, these asavas will just go underline and goes together with you. Yeah? It goes together with you. And these asavas are not necessarily it will bring you to woeful states, It can even with that bring you all the way to highest heaven also. This asava, although it's a kind of a defilement, but it does not mean that all the time it's going to bring you into hell, into woeful states and so on. No. You see, for example, when you're giving, people when they're giving, offering and giving and so on, when they give, when they offer something and then they say offering to the monks or to people or you give food and so on. Then with the back of the mind, some of them they like some name there, there's some name, some fame a little bit. Then it's become tainted a little bit. That one we can see. But then sometimes for us, we offer something. Then after that, we say, hopefully, in next life, we can reborn in a better planes of existence. We can reborn in a happier planes of existence. We don't have to come back and go through all this human world, and we have to have sickness, and we have this, and we have that suffering. When we go up higher planes, then we can have more good time. Now you see what I mean here. Here it means that although you're offering here, when you're doing offering here, but your undercurrent here is that you desire for existence. You desire for existence, that is to say, you still want to exist. You still want to be. The power is still there. You still want to exist in the sense that you want to reborn in a higher planes of existence. Then, because of that wholesomeness you have done, and so many wholesomeness that you have done, wholesome action that you have done, then after you die, you reborn there. Not to say that you will not reborn there, but you reborn there. But then also you want to get out of samsara or not? What for? So happy here. Life is good. What for? You're going out here and going there. What's the point? Isn't it? This is exactly what it means by asawa. It follows you. It follows you because although you give, but there is a desire for existence. And it follows the higher planes of existence. Now, here, even the Buddha also taught that when you offer something that is good merits, this good merits, it will bring you to this one also. The Buddha knows it because he knows that this is what a lot of people will do. When you talk about nibbana here, getting out of samsara, they can't buy it, they can't swallow it. They want to have happiness, they want to have joy in this very life or in the future lives to come. So they do a lot of good deeds. But if you ask them to get out of samsara, no. Maybe samsara can wait. Let's enjoy first. So this is what it means here. The asamas that connected to all the existence. Yeah. Yeah. Even sometimes these asawas are like it comes into like meditation also. Yeah. It comes into this meditation that even that you want to cultivate that goodness, you just want to escape from it also, escape from some unpleasantness. Say for example, if you are in meditation and you're sitting there, especially doing um, maybe you can do samatha or vipassana, but this time let's talk about vipassana here. Now, vipassana here, you are taught to observe the feelings, or notice the feelings, the pain that coming up. Now, a lot of people, a lot of yogis, a lot of meditators, when they observe the pain, after a while, the mind doesn't want to watch the pain anymore because you cannot take it anymore. You be tahan already, the mind want to escape. The mind want to escape because at that moment of time, the mind feels that the aversion has a reason. The aversion a reason, the difficulty has a reason. So you want to shift the mind away. Shift the mind away for something more pleasant. Something more pleasant. It wants to shift away to something more pleasant. Then it doesn't want to watch the pain anymore. So this is exactly the asawas, even in the midst of your meditation. The asawas has come in. The desire of something which is pleasant has come in without even the yogis realizing it. Without the yogis even realizing it. So it's how deep, even in a state of meditation, it can actually go. And in so many ways also. Sometimes it comes with ulterior motives. Sometimes it comes with ulterior motives like, for example, um, should I um, walking, maybe after walking, maybe I should go and have a drink. While walking, you already start thinking or start planning what you want to do afterwards already, to a little bit of enjoyment. That is where the asawas come in. This is how finite asawa is, how finite it is. Then in the sense of like asawas connected with ignorance. Connected with ignorance is something like what is really not there, you believe it to be there. What is really there, you believe it to be not there. There's two opposite things. For example, ignorance here means that you say that there is such a thing as this Noble Eightfold Path. Then there are people who totally have no idea of mental development, Noble Eightfold Path, and so on. So they're completely ignorant about it. Just like, for example, that Nibbana is there. Not to say there, but Nibbana can be realized. Just that you have not seen it yet. Or you don't intend to see it also. Well, maybe. Or maybe you don't intend to see it, but for some people, it's not there yet. Maybe about to come, for you to realize it. Now, the thing is that right now, if you have not seen it, that means you're still ignorant. Because it's there, you have not seen it yet. It is there, It is not seen yet. So in a way, it is ignorance. Or sometimes we look at like anatta. Anatta is a bit more, sometimes it's difficult for us to understand. For example, like there is non-self. It's only the process of mind and body that is experiencing wow at every moment of what we are going through. But you see, because our mind cannot penetrate so deep, you will look at all in the front, in the facade only. Mind and body are coming and going. How could that be? After all, this mind and body, there must be a somebody control. There must be a self-control, a soul control. There must be an almighty control our lives. They cannot be just this mind and body alone. Yeah? Because of that, what is not there, they believe that it is there. Because all this self and soul, if you go into a deeper aspect of the development of the mind, even your mind is so deep, so powerful, so clear, you don't see all this creator, almighty God, or a self or a soul that is exists forever. The mind do not see all those things. But when we do not meditate, we think that they are there. We believe that they are there. What is not there, we believe it to be there. When we believe it to be there, that is where the ignorance is what we mean by ignorance. What is not there, you believe that it's there. What is there, you believe that it's not there. So many ways that this ignorance will come in. And also the wrong views. The wrong view here means that you attach to all kinds of view. For example, you attach to like a certain view like what karma? What is the problem? There's no such thing as cause and effect. Die already. What is there to reborn and what is there to go? No, I don't believe all those things. Then he says, don't believe all these things. That means here, it means the mind is can't see. It believes in their free thinker. Free thinker also, they attach to all their beliefs also. Not that they don't believe anything. So here, when you attach to a certain views, which does not parallel with the reality, then all these are wrong views. All these are wrong view. So wrong view here, there are so many things. If you want to know what is wrong view, then it's also good that if you go to Majjhima Nikaya, Dika Nikaya. Majjhima Nikaya also, yes. Dika Nikaya, you go into the long discourses, chapter number 1, very easy to remember. Even the middle length discourses, you go to chapter number 1, it's also very easy to remember. So these two, they tell you various kinds of all these wrong beliefs and wrong understandings. See whether you can able to understand what is this going on or not. Because we'll just never know. Some of us may just believe it, But whether your belief and what the Buddha mentioned, whether they can tally or not, that's just another thing. Sometimes you need some people to help you, to show it to you that all these wrong views and what the Buddha mentioned is meant, how they all are connected together. Yeah? Yeah. So these 4 wrong views, it will hold you and to do whatever wholesome or unwholesome. So even as for example, you may have some wrong view. You believe that there must be a almighty, there must be a self, this universal permanent consciousness. This consciousness or this voice, it propels me to do something good for the world. It asks me to. It says into my mind. It says into my heart that I should I should uh, I should help these people. I should help these beings. You believe in something unwholesome, but in the front is doing something wholesome. So the front here is you are doing a lot of these wholesome deeds, but behind that, it holds on to a certain belief that you can do a lot of wholesome deeds, and yet the person can end up in the heavens and so on. Not necessarily in hell all the time. So this is what it means here. The front there, whatever that in front there you can do, but behind it is this asavas that is pulling you to do wholesome deeds, unwholesome deeds, and then it makes you stays in the cycle of birth and rebirth. It won't let you out from it. So this is what it means. The asavas here. Now, then the next thing is this: how can we reduce these asavas, or how can we altogether eradicate these asavas? The Buddha also mentioned it also. It's whether that we can understand it or not. Hold on. So the Buddha mentioned about how to reduce these asavas and how for us to actually to to help us in our everyday life into reducing these asavas, and finally the Buddha also mentioned how we're going to eradicate these asavas also. Now this topic that I talk about, this whole thing that I'm talking about, this is mentioned in the Majjhima Nikaya chapter number 2. Easy. Just now I talked about number 1, that is all about that wrong view and all that. And the first one, chapter number 2, sutta number 2 is all about these asavas. All about these asavas. He called the Sappasava Sutta. So this inside there, the Buddha tells you what are the asavas, what are the mental taints, and how we can able to overcome them. And a lot of number of things Buddhists actually have done it. And we're going to see it more in perspective, more clearer. Why did the Buddha mention, and those things that you have done, where is it derived from? Now here there are seven things that the Buddha mentioned. The Buddha mentioned 7 things how we can abandon these mental taints, or how we can we can able to reduce these asavas. The first one, we go through the first to 7 first. Then after that, we're going to explain a little bit more. The first one is by seeing. Seeing here is not by just your eyes. This is mental seeing. The Pali word is dasana. The second one is here is restraining, by holding back, restraining. The third one is by using, proper usage. The fourth one is by enduring, or by patience. The fifth one is by avoiding. You avoid something or some people. The next one, the sixth one, is by removing. And the seventh one is by developing, by development. All right. So we're going to go through these things. Here, in these 7 things, is also divided into 2 categories. The first category here is let's put it. The first category here, it's you can only suppress it. You can only suppress the taints. You can only abandon them temporarily, but you cannot eradicate them. So the first one is you can abandon them temporarily, but you cannot eradicate them. Now the second group is you completely eradicate them. You completely eradicate them. So the first one, by seeing and by development, the first and the seventh belongs to eradication type. It belongs to the eradication. Whereas the second, third, fourth, fifth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After this, we'll explain again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one, it's by you're suppressing only. Yeah. Um, before that, now, Alex, perhaps you need to allow people to screen share. If you can able to allow the screen share, then perhaps I can put some slides up. Now it still cannot. Yeah. Hold on, yeah. Never mind. If cannot, never mind. I'll just talk it through. um, here. So the first one until the seventh one. Now the first one, by seeing. What does Buddha explain by seeing, by dasana here? By seeing here means that the part seeing here means it eradicates certain mental things, but not all yet. Certain mental, and this by seeing, the Buddha specifically pointed to Sotapanna, pointing to the first stage of enlightenment. And what are the first stage of enlightenment? What are the first stage of enlightenment that we can able to eradicate? What are the things that we can eradicate? Now, most of us know that the first eradication of the defilements is the skeptical doubt. You completely eradicate the skeptical doubt. Yeah? And the Sotapanna also, it eradicates the wrong view. Yeah? These two things, skeptical doubt and wrong view. But the wrong view here is divided again into two parts, as we know as fetters. Here the first one is eradication of the wrong view of a self or a soul. A self or a soul here. Very much, very internal. And then the second part of the wrong view that is eradicated is eradicating the wrong view about the rites and rituals that is going to bring you towards enlightenment. Two types of wrong view, but they all falls under wrong view. So wrong view and skeptical doubt has to be removed in order for you to enter into the noble path. Without removing these two, it's impossible. They are very strong defilements, but not the desire yet, not the sensual desire yet, not the craving for desire for existence also, not yet. You're only removing the wrong view first. And skeptical doubt. Skeptical doubt also, in a certain sense, they fall under ignorance. Falls under ignorance. So in the sense that the ignorance also are shaken right now, but the ignorance are not completely eradicated yet. So here the first one, the wrong view here, we're going to when a person develops, especially the satipatthana, develop the satipatthana to the full extent of it. I wouldn't say full. If it's full, then you'll be arahant already. At least you are developed to a very wonderful development that you can able to pass through as a worldling, and you pass in, it goes into the noble ones. So when you pass through that, here is where they, at the path consciousness, it eradicates that defilements. So when it eradicates those defilements, it also eradicates, of course, the taints also, the taints of ignorance especially, the taints of wrong view especially. It completely eradicate them. That means when this wrong view is gone, all the underlying, the string that holds you is being cut off. And that holds you. So you got 3 more strings for you to pull you. So 4 strings Now only 3 strings only. One string, the ignorant string, also a bit more shaky already right now. But the other 2 string is still strong. So it means in this way. So here it means that once it's eradicated, it won't come back again. In this cycle of birth and rebirth, in the future lives, it is no more there. That means there will be a time that you're going to, in future, there will be getting out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. And the Buddha said that within 7 lives, the Sotapanna can get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. But the thing is that how are we going to see these asavas then? How are we going to penetrate these asavas? These asavas is so difficult to penetrate for us to able to see it in our everyday life. Unless you mix with the right people. You mix with the right people, with people with Dhamma, and they can able to point it out to you. Or you can develop the mind, further develop the mind, especially into the Satipatthana. When the mind develops, it develops the faculty of wisdom, the faculty of penetration of the mind into the deeper aspect of the true nature of this mind and body process. And then that time, you can able to differentiate the asavas. You can able to see the asavas here, whether the asavas are there or the asavas are not there. The taints are there or the taints are not there. They can able to see more deeper. The Buddha used the word here, yoniso manasikara, wise attention. And this is not a reflection right now. This is exactly that the mind penetrates into it, sees it into it, that it can able to see this is wholesome, this is tainted with asavas, that the mind can differentiate these two. And it's good that for us to develop this part, this wise attention again and again, until the mind gets develop it well enough that we can get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. If not, it will just keep holding you without we realizing it. It will be your normal. It will be your normal. Until we eradicate it, then it's not not the normal anymore, because the normal is being shaken already. The internal normal. So that one we have to develop it. So when a person sees, when that you abandon by seeing, that means you abandon by seeing the true nature of this wrong view and right view also. That is to say, all the wrong views that you used to attach to about there's a self or a soul, there's a God and all that thing, you cannot attach to them anymore because the wrong view is all shaken up. There's no claw for it to hold on to this type of wrong view. You see the truth, you see the nibbana itself, then you cannot go and cling on to all these type of wrong views anymore. So you are free from it, which is very good. So here the Buddha talk about different types of wrong view, speculative view, and then if you read about it now, you're going to have a hard time what the Buddha is talking about. So I'm just summarizing here to show you that the wrong view, the various types of wrong views is being eradicated. The wrong view about self, a wrong view about soul, all is being eradicated. What's next? Now the next one, the Buddha mentioned about these asavas to be abandoned by restraining. By restraining. This one, by restraining here, we are going into just a temporary abandonment, whereas the first one is permanently abandonment. That means you complete eradicate all its roots. Whereas here, you cool it down so that the asamas does not affect in our life so much, so that our mind doesn't, although we say don't, but once in a while it will comes up. But we make it less and less. It will not totally eradicate it, but make it less. So what do you mean by restraint here? Restraint here means that all our six senses begin with the eye. Begin with the eye, nose, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thoughts, thinking. Mm. Uh, One, two, three, four, five, touch. That's the sixth one, thinking. Yes. So all these things is to be restrained, is to be hold back. Yeah. Now the principle of this restraint, the principle to hold back, you need one major quality of the mind. That one major quality is mindfulness. If you don't have that mindfulness, you weren't able to restrain. Because when the mindfulness becomes strong and clear, it is exactly, it will do the restrainment for you. Yeah. Automatically, you don't have to make an effort for even for you to do it. Yeah. This is especially when we see in the especially in the Satipatthana yogis, when they when you've been in a retreat for some time, day in day out, you meditate and so on. You see when there's a continuity of that mindfulness, that clarity of that mindfulness, the depth of that mindfulness is there. When something, a sound or something were to pass through, a squirrel were to pass through, your eyes don't even want to go and look at it also. You know that sound is there, or you know that the squirrel is there, but you don't even want to lift up your eyes to see it. Doesn't mean that you don't know, you know. The desire for the seeing also is not even there. To see what is going on, to hear what is going on also is not even there. Or sometimes there's people talking a little bit further away. You're not so busybody to go and slowly go and listen to what their conversation is, because it holds back by that mindfulness. It holds back by the mindfulness. Uh, so the mindfulness, the quality of the mindfulness here, in the quality of restraining, they are synonymous with each other. It's just that whether we can see it or not. But most of the time, while we are in a way training and we try to have casually everyday life, we make an effort. We make an effort to pull back. You know, if there is some kind of dancing and singing and so on, then the restraint is that you know what is going on, but it's not necessary for me to go there. If your desire is strong, then of course it's going to go there. If your desire is weak, then you know that yeah, some people are singing there. They're not necessarily just walk past, just walk through. Yeah? Uh, Sometimes even with this type of restraining of our senses and so on, then you'll find that over time that even like the movies, you're not so interested. Doesn't matter lah, you know. If it's there, it's there. If done, it doesn't matter. We're not so obsessive about it, you know. So too, like certain food, you know, people are so obsessive about certain food because during this lockdown and all that, you cannot get your best food, you know. You'll be start thinking of it so much. This is your obsession, you know. That obsession is very strong. Craving is very strong. So restrainment here is that when the mindfulness is there, the quality of mindfulness is there, you say that, oh, that food, well, if you have, don't have, doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter. That means your mind is already pulled away from that desire. It pulls away from that desire, which is good, which is wonderful. It makes the mind so much more calm, so much more peaceful. Uh, so too many things we have to restrain ourselves. But it's not easy, you know. It's not easy for lay people because there's so many wonderful things around you. Your house is beautiful, your TV is very big, the bed also is very big, soft and nice, aircon. You can go any as you like. Maybe not now, later on. You can go. Just want to fill up the senses only. Come to retreat. Maybe a few more years. Maybe I'm settled down a bit more. Then I'll come for a retreat. Yeah. All right, the next one. The next one is, again, this is temporary abandonment. This one is, the next one is, the third one is using. This is what we say that you reflecting wisely on the four requisites. Here the Buddha is talking to the monks. In this sutta, the Buddha is talking to the monks. The four requisites here means your shelter, one, your clothing, another one, food and medicine. These are the four basic needs for the monks. Four basic needs for the monk. But of course, for you all, your basic needs are a little bit more than monks are, a little bit more than monks. So too, even whether that basic needs are uh, the basic needs, whether it's layperson or whether it's for monks, those things you have to reflect on them wisely. Now, even this BGF, we also did a lot of this reflection before meal. Even in your puja book, also you all have those things. You see, we take this food not for pleasure or for intoxicant, nor for the sake of physical beauty of attractiveness, but for the endurance and continuance of this body, for the ending of discomfort, for assisting the holy life, considering, thus I shall terminate the old feelings of hunger without arousing the new feelings of desire, and I shall be healthy and blameless, and I shall live in comfort. So that means before you eat, a lot of times I see before they eat, they put their palms together, then they reflect on the food in front of them. Sometimes I see devotees, I do not know what is going on inside the mind. They reflect then, they reflect there, which is good. Not to say it's bad now. It's wonderful. That way you reflect on about it. So it reduces that desire for food. But I have also seen that in the beginning they reflect, whatever they reflect, I do not know. But after 3 minutes later, 4 minutes later, wow, the food is so good right now. How do you make it? How much did you put? How do you cook it? What ingredient do you put? You see, it makes so soft, so nice. You taste it. All your reflection just now, 3 minutes or 5 minutes ago, completely forgotten. Completely forgotten. Yeah. So we reflect in the beginning, but there's no follow up through. Now in the meditation center, yes, we follow up even the beginning of the eating until the end of the eating. That you have to be mindful of your taste, of your touch, of your eating, and so on. You got to be mindful all the way through as best as you can. But in the lay life, sometimes no. Sometimes here we reflect, but after that, it's a different story already. So this is what is happening. So reflecting upon this, like your food, your clothing means that you take this clothing is just for covering for this body. For example, we take this robe is to cover this body, um, um, to prevent from heat and cold, to avoid the mosquitoes or gladflies or bees or stings, things like this. We use this and we reflect it wisely, not to get attracted by it, not to get attracted by it, thinking that this is beautiful and so on. But on the lay people side, it's different. You take this, you wear is to sometimes is to show off. To wear is to 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 show off a little bit to people. That then the taints are out there. So if we reflect wisely, then we remove the taints, we reduce the taints. Once in a while it comes up. Then if we are careful enough, we are clear enough, we are watchful of them. So the shelter also the same thing, the medicine also the same thing. Nowadays people take medicine here, including supplements and all that. Yeah, not just for their health only, but it's also for beauty also. I see, they want to make themselves beautiful and so on. They take certain type of medicine, including those Botox and whatnot. Not just eating only, but injection and so on. So if you reflect wisely, if you reflect wisely, if you reflect in the right manner, then the desire, the taints become lessen. It becomes lessen. It helps to lessen. If you do it a long period of time, then that desire become very minimal. But it's not totally eradicated yet, very minimal. So when it's minimal, that means there's more peace inside the mind, and which is going to be very helpful, especially for the development of the mind. Yeah? And then the next things, the next one, the fourth one, I think. One, two, four. Okay. The fourth one tends to be abandoned by patience or enduring. Here means endure means that you have to go through some degree. Sometimes you go through some degree of hardship. For example, like you go through degree of you have to stay at home. Difficult for some people because cannot go out, cannot go to work. Every day is inside the home. Mentally very find it very difficult to go through. When the mind is not trained, when the mind is not trained, that hardship, that difficulty of the mind, they sometimes they express it out in violence and in they hurt their own family members, violence to their own children or to their own spouse, and because they do not know how to control that type of mental difficulty. So they get angry, they get aversion, they get hatred arises. Yeah. So, so here tends to be abandoned by this one is that you must have a lot of patience. Difficulty, yes. Sometimes, for example, like uh, hunger and thirst, or sometimes like cold or heat. When we bear up with these things, especially when you come to like meditation retreat, things are not so fine like your home. Things are a bit bare minimum just for you to survive, to meditate. And then sometimes you may face with mosquitoes, face with the wind is strong, cold, and so on. Then that time you got to really bear with it. If you don't bear up with it, your mind gets very unsettled, angry, very feel very terrible. All you want is to get out of this meditation, to get out, to get away from this meditation. Uh, so by enduring. So a lot of times our life, we go through pains and go through sickness and so on. That time we have to go through, we have to be patient with it. Be patient with all these pains and all this suffering state of mind. When you have this patience, then the anger does not arise. This is especially true when we are meditating. When we are meditating, especially with all the pain that arises, we have to be very patient. If not, if we are not patient, the anger all arises. Uh, uh. Avoidance tends to be abandoned by avoiding. What do you mean by avoiding? What does it avoid? Here, the Buddha specifically says that the external things that you need to avoid. Here, because sometimes bhikkhus or monks, they goes into the forest and so on, they meet with wild elephants, leopards, or tigers, or lions. And during in the Buddha's time, and they have lions, leopard, wild elephants if they go into the forest. So it says that you have to avoid these type of places. If you don't avoid these type of places, your fear arises. Your fear arises, and then it makes your mind even difficult to meditate. Yeah? So he says that you must avoid wandering into unsuitable resort. Unsuitable resort. This is one thing. Avoiding, the next one is papamita, evil friends, evil people. Yeah. You have to avoid these evil people, because if you don't avoid the evil people, then they're going to influence you to do a lot of bad deeds. All your wholesomeness and all your unwholesomeness is because of whether you mix with the right people or the wrong people. If you mix with the wrong people, all your taints, all your defilements is going to be so much more. Uh, uh, so, so here is about avoiding. Sometimes there are monks which I've known of, if I read also. They purposely want to go into the place where there is leopards are there, where there are wild elephants are there. Go there. I must overcome my fear. Overcome my fear. It's not that is not the way. I don't think that is the way. Because like in Sri Lanka, once in a while you hear that monks is trampled to death by the wild elephants in the forest. Not to say it often, once in a while you hear that. So it's not as a safe place. Uh, so when you have these wild animals running about, they see you as a threat. You are coming into their area, they see you as a threat. Uh, So this one is by removing, by avoiding. You're avoiding the bad people also. What is the next thing? Things to be abandoned by removing. Abandoned by removing here means to remove your greed, hatred, and delusion when they arises in the mind. That is to say, when the mind is filled with greed, then we could look at it as something like things are changing, things are impermanent. Then it overcomes the greed. If the anger arises, we develop that metta to overcome the anger, overcome the hatred. The ignorance arises, we use the wisdom to overcome it. So we overcome it in many ways. So of all this greed, hatred, and delusion. We can talk about this a lot. The next one, tends to be abandoned by developing. This one tends to be abandoned by development. This is again by total eradication. This is not just temporary eradication, total eradication. Here it means develop, cultivate the 7 factors of enlightenment. Yeah. The 7 factors of enlightenment begin with mindfulness. Then you have uh, investigation of Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya. Then we have effort, we have joy, then we have tranquility, we have concentration, then you have upeka. You have upeka. These 7 factors of enlightenment. You cultivate them. These 7 factors of enlightenment, of course, here we cannot go through all of them. But it is especially in the Satipatthana. You develop Satipatthana, you develop the 4 foundation of mindfulness, you will fulfill the 7 factors of enlightenment. Yeah? So that's what the Buddha says in Anapanasati Sutta. So these 7 factors of enlightenment, they are none other than the mind that you pays attention, the noting mind, the mind that notes. And when it notes it in a very balanced manner, very clear manner. All these enlightenment factors are doing their own function. Now, I talk about these 7 factors of enlightenment for many retreats. In fact, now sometimes per retreat, I just talk about 7 factors of enlightenment. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks, with 2 weeks plus sometimes, just to finish on that particular topic, all the 7. So if you're interested to know about these 7 factors of enlightenment, you have to, go to my blog and then you can dig it out from there. But basically, here, the 7 factors of enlightenment, that means you cultivate them to the full extent until arahantship is attained. Until the arahantship is attained, then that means all forms of fetters and all forms of taints are totally eradicated. That means the taints of ignorance, the taints of the desire for existence are totally eradicated. Even even that desire for existence comes with a jhana also. Then you go into the jhana, if your mind is not eradicated yet, the underlying desire for existence, because the desire for existence from the Brahma world and the higher worlds are still there. So until one eradicates completely at the Arhat level, then these taints are completely out, are completely cut off. So that's how deep this asawa can go. But until here, until here, these 7 things, beginning from the seeing, beginning from seeing, and then you restrain by using, by enduring, by avoiding, by removing, and finally by development or cultivation of these 7 factors of enlightenment. Then the Buddha shows every part how we can able to eradicate these asawas. Yeah? All right. Wow, it's already 11 o'clock. Okay, so we stop here. We stop here. And you have a Q&A. Let's see. I got some more time, don't worry. Hungry, but still got time. Don't worry. Where's the question? Oh. Okay. All right, hold on, everybody. I would like to ask the question about jealousy. It seems it is everywhere. How to overcome this human weakness? Um, this topic about jealousy right now, that I was talking about it on Thursday, and I'm going to talk about it in the coming Tuesday also, because the overcoming of jealousy here is the development of mudita. Mudita here means altruistic joy. Altruistic joy means that you can see other people's success without that envy. You can be happy, truly be happy for the other person. Truly happy for the other person, that means you see people overcome, or you see people gain some material gains, or some spiritual gains. Then when you look at them, your mind doesn't feel you are inadequate, that they should not have gained so much. How come they gain so much? I don't get it. No, with that is envy. The state of envy, state of jealousy arises. But instead of that, you see them with, you're happy for them. You're happy for their gains. You're happy for their whatever development, whatever material gains that arises. So when you are happy for them in that way, that is what we call mudita. And the mudita and jealousy, they are complete opposite of each other. They are complete opposite. Just like metta, they are completely opposite of anger, whereas mudita is the complete opposite of jealousy. Okay, so it's good for you to develop jealousy. Yes, in the world, there's a lot of people with a lot of this jealousy because it cannot be happy for others. There's always that holding back, and you feel that you're inadequate. You feel that we are not the same level. I want to be the same level. You're getting too much, and so on. And then jealousy arises. Okay. Any more question? Do the devas have sickness? Do devas have sickness? This question I got to wait. I got to ask the devas first. I got to go and consult the devas before I come back to answer your question. How do I know? I'm not there yet. Even we were there, we forgot already. Yeah, we forget already. But it seems that it's mentioned in the books they don't have sickness now. It seems that it's mentioned in the books now. But that's all in the books. That's what is mentioned in the books. But actually, do you see them? Did you talk to them? Did you been in their realm? Beats me, I forgot about all those things. All right. So next question. Asama is the state of mind from life to life. Simply put, the usual norms in this lifetime would normally appear in the next life. In a way, yes. Your habits. Your habits will pull you from one lifetime after another lifetime. Take, for example, like Venerable Sariputta. He was reborn as a monkey for 500 lifetimes. Even if it becomes an arahant, it become an arahant already at the last life. When he see a puddle of water, he has to jump over. that tendency just to jump over, So you see, even an arahant also, the tendency to do certain things because of our past development and our past cultivation and our past unwholesome habits and taints and so on, it kind of etch into our mind. It etch into our mind, and then even when we become arahants, although we don't have the taints anymore, and yet certain personality is still there. But it's not a default personality. It's just like you bake the cake, come out that way already. Is that way already. You cannot like I'm going to adjust it in another way, because it's baked already in that way. Yeah? So even that also, this asava, although the defilements are totally eradicated, but even right until to the last life as an arahant also, yes, it still follows in a certain sense. So, but for arahants, they are without the taints. But for us, we still have the taints. So it will follow us. If you believe in wrong views, the next life, the wrong view will follow you. If your craving is so strong, it's so obsessive, the next life it will follow you. It will follow you because these are part of the norms. Yeah? Okay. What's the next question? Any more? Is that it? Bobby, Alex, any more question? Say again.
No, I think there's no more questions.
That's all, is it? Okay. So,
So, yeah, Bhante, like to share Mary's inspirations.
uh, I'll do it, or you do. I'll do it.
Are you do it?
Uh-huh. So, thank you for being here, and hopefully we'll see you all next time again. So whatever endeavors that you are going through, may you all be free from all kinds of harm and danger. May you all be happy, healthy, and be safe wherever you all are. We share merits. Idang me punyang
Dami punyam,
nibbanasa
Upanasa,
pachayo
Pachayo,
hotu.
Hotu,
May my merits be a condition for the realization of nibbana. Imang no
Imano,
punya bagang
Punya Baga,
sabba satanang
Sabasatan,
dema.
Dema,
We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings, and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Bhante, for the wonderful sharing. So next Sunday we have Acham Brahmali here at 9 o'clock. So